Surveillance is the new cornerstone of abusive regimes. Throughout the world, some governments actively fight their own citizens to remain in power. Abusive regimes do whatever it takes to hold office, even if that means harming their own people. While the United States Constitution protects civil liberties that China and the Philippines don't, it can't protect against every abusive official. Thanks to modern surveillance, it's possible for our government to record the every move of an entire country and use it against political dissidents. Surveillance threatens people who are most important for our democracy, like journalists, protesters, and even senators.
Well, I've been stopped at the border since 2006.
This is Laura Poitras. She's an Academy Award-winning filmmaker, best known for her documentaries about post-9/11 America. Since publishing Citizen4, a film about American surveillance, she's repeatedly been stopped when crossing borders in the United States, even though she poses no threat.
And so I've actually lost count to how many times I've been detained at the border, but it's, I think, around 40 times.
But Laura is not the only political target. Protesters are also targeted with extensive surveillance.
The Wall Street Journal reported that the same technology was now being used domestically inside the United States. The FBI has a specific aviation unit that's flying around cities, and frequently they're monitoring protesters rather than violent criminals.
These programs are making it harder to publicly take a stand without being registered in a database, just because you left home to contribute to a cause. Voicing your opinion might just mean receiving more stringent surveillance. So what goes on behind the scenes that enables the government to surveil the public with disregard to constitutional protections?
So what I wanted to see is if you could give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
We now know that this is a lie. James Clapper, the former director of national intelligence, committed perjury by lying under oath. As of today, Clapper is free of any federal charges. This is what actually happens with our information. The NSA collects data from most common messaging services. That means that every message you send is likely inspected by the NSA. At a minimum, the metadata is collected. This means that information about your conversation, like who you spoke with, at what time, what location, and more, can be saved for up to a year. Here's the problem. Intelligence agencies are essentially circumventing the Fourth Amendment by pretending that opening, collecting, and reading the data about your messages doesn't count as a search. According to the White House Review Panel, created to review the NSA's data collection, it was concluded that metadata has prevented a total of 0 attacks. Instead of using invasive domestic surveillance, traditional investigative techniques have foiled terror plots. Effectively, we're putting our trust in a system that disregards our Constitution and has a history of abuse. Domestic surveillance comes at a cost to individual freedoms and liberties.